excited about this, and turns out, Al, he's actually a huge musicals fan.
Who knew?
People singing the song of angry men.
For a spoonful of sugar.
Go down.
The pandemic has certainly put a stop to a lot of singing, dancing and treading of the boards. Last year, the West End had its best year on record, earning a revenue of £800 million. But in March, the West End went dark.
The tune is thankfully changing though, because for the first time since they all had to close, a West End musical is reopening its doors. At the famous Lyric Theatre, Six is on this weekend.
The musical is a modern retelling of the lives of the 6 wives of Henry VIII, affectionately known as the Queens. And today, at long last, the cast is able to return to the theatre for final rehearsals.
You're back! The Queens are in the West End. How on earth does this feel?
Excited!
Yeah.
You know, we've been due to open, due to rehearse, and then due to lockdown, we've had to stop. So this is quite an achievement. We're just making history right now.
Like this, pinching
Are you
myself.
pinching? Yeah.
When I first moved to London, my first job was in West End theatre production, and my boss was the producer of Six the Musical, Kenny Wax.
This was due to open in November and has been put back again to this week. We had 2 companies rehearsing at the same time, the West End in one room, the UK tour in another room, and as the news came through, the West End got tier 2, and of course the UK tour got tier 3, so it was bitterly disappointing.
What is it like as a producer, telling a big group of people, actually the work they hope for isn't there, it's not going to happen?
I think the UK theatre workforce is 290,000 people, of which virtually none of them have had jobs in the last year. And one of the reasons for getting Six back on was simply to provide jobs, because with social distancing, there is nothing really in this for us commercially.
World-famous producer Nika Burns co-owns 6 iconic West End theatres, including the Lyric and neighbouring Apollo. She's all too aware of how the demise of theatre has affected the livelihoods of many of its employees.
Just how significant, how devastating has this year been for British theatre?
London theatres have not been closed down since the 16th century. That's a long time. Even in World War II, we found a way of keeping the theatres open.
Tell me about the responsibility you feel to navigate all these restrictions, all these new rules, and actually get theatre going again.
We have put all the COVID measures in place, we've tested them, and now we're saying to audiences, if you don't feel well when you wake up in the morning, don't come, and we will exchange your tickets for another night. You come, to your knowledge, healthy, and then we will take care of you in the building. Beautifully sanitised.
Audiences will notice some changes. Households will be spaced out and sat separately. There'll be a one-way system in operation, and when it comes to drinks and snacks, these will have to be pre-ordered and consumed in your seats. But as for what's happening on stage, that'll look pretty much the same.
And with final rehearsals underway, everyone's counting down until the doors reopen tomorrow.
So people who aren't sure about coming back to theatre yet, what would you say?
Once that people do see that it's safe and that it can be done, I think the ball will then roll for the industry as a whole, for people to know that it is safe and to come and escape the craziness of 2020 and just enjoy live theatre again.
When will you believe it's actually happening?
After my bow.
All I can say is, break a leg. Break 6 legs. 6 legs, is that it?
Thank you so much. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
The cast came and did a performance on this show about a year ago, and they were incredible. They were amazing. Right, one more question, okay? Darren on Twitter asks, what will Robbie and Jamie buy each other for